Good morning. This is RCB News, and I am Ryan Bolton. I want to get right down to the news at hand. I'm going to be reading an article from the Daily Wire, and it's a pretty short article, but I'm going to read the entirety of this article, and I'm going to also read the transcript from Fox News, where there was an interview, a reporter interviewed Biden in reference to the loss of the Democratic governor in Virginia. And I'm going to read, you guys have to hear this. If you didn't watch Fox News, I have the transcript here on the Daily News. I'm going to read that to you, and then I'm going to give you my opinion. The title of this article is Biden Refuses to Own GOP Blowout in Virginia, Call to Congratulate Democratic Candidate Who Lost. President Joe Biden refused to take any ownership in his party getting blown out in Virginia's elections on Tuesday night when asked about the matter during a press conference on Wednesday. And by the way, congratulations to the new governor of Virginia. Hey, I'm not a Virginian, I'm an Ohioan, but congratulations to the Republican governor in Virginia. God bless you, brother. And he suggested that it was going to be harder to win moving forward because Donald Trump is not on the ballot. Biden did not dispute the outcome of the election, saying that, quote, we all have an obligation to accept the legitimacy of these elections, end quote. I was talking to Terry to congratulate him today, Biden said, referring to Democratic gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe. I hope I'm not butchering this man's name. Not good with names. Who lost to Republican Glenn Youngkin. He got 600,000 more votes than any Democrat ever has gotten. We brought out every Democrat there was, and it has in parentheses inaudible, suggesting that they couldn't understand what Biden was saying, but that's neither here or there. Everyone that hears Biden talk know the man has a problem with putting words together. Not putting him down, but clearly it's something cognitively wrong. He goes on to say more votes than ever has been cast for a Democratic incumbent. I mean, not incumbent, a Democrat running for governor. And no governor in Virginia has ever won when he is of the same, where he or she is the same party as the sitting president. Biden admitted that the American people were, quote, upset about a lot of the things that are happening under his watch, including things like rising gas prices. Yeah. When a reporter noted that Biden had won the state by 10 points just last year, Biden responded, I was running against Donald Trump. Now, here's the transcript. Now, I'm going to read this transcript, and after I read this transcript, I'm going to chime in with my opinion. Reporter, as leader of the Democratic Party, how much responsibility do you take for the dismal results in Virginia and beyond last night? Joe Biden. Well, look, yesterday reminded me of that one of the scared rights we have is to be able to go out and cast our votes. Let me say something before I read the rest of what Biden said. Scared rights? Scared rights? What are you scared of? Scared of? Does he even think about what he's saying? Let's go, Brandon. Okay. And remember that we all have an obligation to accept the legitimacy of these elections. I was talking to Terry to congratulate him today. He got 600,000 more votes than any Democrat ever has gotten. We brought out every Democrat inaudible again. Couldn't understand what he was saying. There was more votes than ever has been cast for a Democratic incumbent. I mean, not incumbent, a Democrat running for governor. And no governor in Virginia has ever won when he is of the same, where he or she is the same party as a sitting president. I don't be understanding nothing this man be saying. What I do know is, I do know that people want us to get things done. This is exactly how the transcript reads. So I'm reading to you how the transcript actually reads. They want us to get things done. And that's why I am continuing to push very hard for the Democratic Party to move along and pass my infrastructure bill and my Build Back Better bill. I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to read the rest of them. You can read the rest of this article in the Daily Wire in the description box below. But suffice is to say, at the end of Mr. Biden's speech or response to the reporter on Fox News, he stated that people in America want things to get done. True, Mr. Biden, people in America do want things to get done. But I believe, in my opinion, that what they want to get done is to get jobs. They want these gas prices to go down. They want to get back to their lives. They're tired of all of these lockdowns and these mandates and all of this. Most people in America are not accepting of that. And far as him talking about they want to get things done, Americans, this is what bothers me about a lot of these far leftist Marxist supporting Democrats and the Biden administration. American people are not as dumb as they think they are. American people are waking up to this Build Back Better plan that they're trying to push. And just recently, I was watching a video on Facebook. One of my friends had shared with me in reference to the actual bill itself, in reference to the Build Back Better plan. It was an actual bill over several thousand pages high. I mean, the lady, I think she was a congresswoman, I believe, and she had literally took the bill and placed it on the table, and it was like it was this high, several thousand pages high. And she stated that she was reading all the variables in this bill, and it was just ridiculous. She said the things that they wanted. And the concept they're trying to push. For example, in the bill, she mentioned what they're trying to push also was the Green New Deal. I think that's what it's, the Green New Deal, which I ain't going to go into too much detail about that. But the whole point is that this is going to cost Americans, you and I, trillions of dollars. When these Democrats tell you that we want to make these billionaires pay their share, that's a bunch of nonsense. Number one, the billionaires do pay taxes. They pay millions of dollars in taxes, but they're not going to give all their money to the government. If the government had its way, it would take all their money. That's why billionaires and real rich people have lawyers to help them matriculate through all of this nonsense that the government, particularly far leftist radical Democratic government, wants to do. They want to take all their money because many of these far leftist Democrats, which many of them have been infiltrated by communists, and I'm going to do another video on that altogether, hate capitalism. And the way that they try to destroy capitalism in the West is by taxing you to the kazoo. They can't take it with guns because we're not going to put up with that. A lot of Americans have guns, and we have the right to own guns. The Democrats have been trying to take that from us. But for the most part, most Americans have the right to own a gun. That's your constitutional Bill of Right to own a gun. So they're not going to come in and try to take it by force because they're going to get blown up. So they destroy capitalism, okay, and they destroy the ownership of property by overtaxing you and overregulating you to the point where you become miserable in owning property or miserable in owning a business. You're not making any money because they're taxing you and regulating you to the kazoo. That's how they do it. This Build Back Better plan is going to drain the middle class. That's what it's for, to drain the middle class. It has nothing to do. That's just when they tell you, well, we want to make these billionaires pay their fair share. That's just their way to get you to vote for them so that they can stay in power on a local level, state level, and federal level. That's the only reason why they say that. These so-called billionaires aren't stupid. They got lawyers that will protect their money so that they won't have to give all their money. As I said earlier, they pay millions of dollars in taxes. But when you have all this money, you're not going to give all your money away to the government. You're not going to give your money away to the government for them to pocket it and put it in their pockets and do all kinds of stupid stuff with it. Come on, man. Nobody with any sense would do that. So these billionaires are smart. Okay, they're smart. And even with in reference to their lawyers that help protect their assets, many of these billionaires have accounts over in other countries so that the American government can't touch their money. So all this talk about, well, we're going to make these billionaires pay is just a way of deceiving the masses of people to vote for these far leftist Democrats to keep them in power so that they can drain the middle class. It's the middle class and the little people, the normies like you and I, that they're after. They want two classes, the rich, super rich, and the poor. That's it. No middle class. We're going to end up just like a third world country if more people don't wake up. If more people don't wake up with what is going on, this Build Back Better plan is not building anything back better. It's, in my opinion, it's just an infrastructure bill to take more control over institutions and more control over your life. But in order to do that, they have to make it appear beautiful. They have to make it appear like it's really going to help you. And it may help a little bit here in the roads and so forth, because a lot of these roads do need to be fixed. I understand that. But see, that's how the devil works. How the devil works, he'll throw some temptation towards your way. He'll throw a little good towards your way to pull you in. It's bait to put the Build Back Better plan is the devil's attempt to bait you and I to vote for these individuals on a local, state, and federal level so that they can push their agenda. Biden just said he said, and I don't need to go all into more of the details. You can read that in the article, but he's talking about we got to really push. That's why we got to push this Build Back Better plan. We got to push it. No, they got to push it because they're desperate. They're desperate because people are starting to wake up. And when people start to wake up, when people start getting red pilled, these radical lefts, I'm not talking about regular Democrats. All Democrats are not in support of this. That's one of the reasons why this Build Back Better plan and all these other stuff that the radical Democrats are trying to push, they're having a hard time pushing it because all the people in Congress are not in agreement to it. Thank God that we have a system of checks and balances. The founding fathers knew what they were doing when they created it. People, we got to wake up and know what's going on, because the decisions they make in the White House, the decisions they make in the state level, the decisions they make on the local level affects all of us. It isn't just, that's politics, and let me go ahead and get my freak on and have my liquor and go into the strip club and watch my movies and watch my games and play video games and I'm cool and get on metaverse, which is what Facebook is trying to create, and I'm cool and be rocked to sleep while I'm in my virtual reality world. That's just a trick of the adversary, a trick of the devil to keep you asleep. To keep all of us asleep so that the powers that be, the individuals working their little magic, creating their policies, can continue to encroach on your life and my life more and more and more until one day we wake up, and we wake up in a communist country that will be merged with the United Nations that will help further their global agenda. Is that what you want? That's what we're going to get if we don't wake up. This Build Back Better plan is a bunch of nonsense. But that's a whole nother video, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. That may be another future video. But I just wanted to bring that out right there. With Biden, oftentimes it's hard to understand anything that man is saying. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing to see this man in office and to have him up there. But once again, as one politician, I was reading the book I just purchased not too long ago, this particular high official made a comment and stated that, and it was a communist sympathizer, stated that Biden is politically malleable, which means that outside forces can influence him and shape him and mold him into what they want. See, Trump was not politically malleable. You couldn't influence Trump to push for policies that he knew would help promote socialism. You couldn't do that. With Biden, you could do that. First of all, clearly the man is not completely there psychologically and mentally. He's deteriorating. Every time you see him, he's getting worse and worse and worse. Every time you hear him, he's getting worse and worse and worse. He was in a town hall meeting with his mask on, sleeping like this. The man sleep. Or eyes closed. If he wasn't sleeping, I don't know what he was doing. His eyes was closed and he was like this in a town hall meeting. Now, if he wasn't sleeping, what was he doing? Meditating? So this is what we see all the time. And someone like that, according to this person's words, it's easy to understand how they could be politically malleable. Okay. But I just wanted to say that. I just want to put my opinion on that. What do you guys think about what Biden said in this transcript on Fox News in this interview? What do you think about this Build Back Better plan? Do you think this Build Back Better plan is what Americans want? Do you think Americans want this kind of thing pushed and pushed and pushed on them? Do you really believe that they want that? What is your thoughts on that? Please put it in the comment box below. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Thank you all, and see you again on RCB News.